When India struck terror camps in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir as part of Operation Sindoor, Pakistan attempted to hit Indian military and civilian areas. Pakistan swarmed India's aerial defenses with Turkish drones. It reportedly used Bayraktar TB2 and Yiha drones against India. 2 Turkish military operatives were killed during India's precision military campaign. Turkiye's supply of combat drones to Pakistan wasn't just a trade deal. It became a battlefield flashpoint during the India-Pakistan conflict, drawing Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan into one of South Asia's most volatile zones. Erdogan's support to Pakistan PM Shehbaz Sharif after the heinous terrorist attack in Pahalgam, followed by official statements condemning India's retaliatory strikes, were not merely expressions of Turkiye's unwavering backing for Pakistan, but also of being unfriendly to India. By dubbing Pakistan a true brother and embracing it diplomatically, Erdogan sent out a clear message that when push comes to shove, Ankara will stand by Islamabad, even if it meant souring ties with India. Turkiye's backing of Pakistan against India raises concerns, particularly with arms deliveries and naval cooperation. So what does Turkiye's growing ties with Pakistan suggest? What is Turkiye's stand in support of Pakistan on the Kashmir issue? How has Turkey helped Pakistan with arms and ammunition over the years? How is Erdogan's vision to lead the Muslim world coming along? Why is Turkey targeting India? And what is India's response to Turkey's growing ties with Pakistan? All these and more on this episode of WION Wideangle. In the aftermath of the terror attack in Pahalgam, India pledged to punish the terrorists and their sponsors in Pakistan. After the pounding of terror targets in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in the wee hours of the 7th of May, on May 8th and 9th, India repulsed a massive Pakistani drone attack on military and civilian infrastructure along its western border. The 300-plus Pak drones likely came from Turkey.
Forensic examination of the drone debris is being undertaken. Preliminary reports suggest them to be of Aziz Guard Songa drone of Turkey.
Reports appeared claiming a Turkish C-130E Hercules transport aircraft had landed in Pakistan carrying weapons. It prompted speculation of arms delivery from one of Islamabad's closest allies, Turkey. However, Turkey refuted the reports and reportedly said that a cargo plane from Turkey landed in Pakistan for solely refueling purposes. The Turkish government has not only supplied critical military hardware, but has also conducted training for Pakistan's army. Turkey was the only Pakistani ally in West Asia to condemn Operation Sindoor. Other Gulf countries have not only refrained from backing Pakistan, but have also shown greater sensitivity to India's position on Kashmir and terror. Today, India boasts strong ties with Saudi Arabia and the UAE, countries that have historically been close to Pakistan. But Turkey is acting differently. What are Turkey's interests in Pakistan, and why does Erdogan back Islamabad? Let's understand. Turkey and Pakistan's shared Islamic identity has long proved the underpinnings for a strong partnership between the two. The two countries have always supported each other in times of crisis. Pakistani leaders committed to militarily assisting Ankara in the Cyprus crises of both 1964 and 1971. In 1983, Pakistan's military dictator General Zia-ul-Haq declared that his country would be the first to recognize Turkish Cyprus if it declared independence. With the rise of Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his political Islamism, the ideological bond between Islamabad and Ankara has only intensified. Since he became Prime Minister in 2003, Erdogan has visited Pakistan at least 10 times. His most recent visit came in February 2025, when Erdogan, now the president, co-chaired the 7th session of the Pakistan-Turkiye High-Level Strategic Cooperation Council. Geopolitically, Turkey, along with Qatar, are in competition with Gulf Arab rivals, led by Saudi Arabia and the UAE, to curb Saudi Emirati influence. Ankara has sought cooperation with non-Gulf Muslim states such as Pakistan and Malaysia. Turkey's focus on the Indian Ocean region, or IOR, has grown of late. In 2017, Ankara set up its largest overseas base in Somalia amid growing economic and military cooperation with Mogadishu. In 2024, Turkey sold Bayraktar TB2 drones to the Maldives. Since 2000, the Turkish Navy has held numerous joint exercises with the Pakistan Navy, the second largest in the Indian Ocean region.
Well, firstly, we must understand that Turkey and Pakistan have had very close ties, not from now, but for last 40, 50 years. And Turkey has always stood with Pakistan against India's interests. It's trying to exercise and its leader has Islamic ambitions to be a leader of the Islamic world somehow, which is very difficult, where it finds contestation with Saudis as well as with Iranians. So in that sense, the Pakistan has been able to play some kind of a very peculiar role in keeping Turkey on it to its side.
Defense collaboration between Turkey and Pakistan is not new. It has seen significant speeding up over the past decade. Under Erdogan's pan-Islamist foreign policy vision, Turkey-Pakistan ties have transformed into structured military cooperation, encompassing defense production, training, joint operations, and strategic alignment. Turkey and Pakistan see themselves as part of a broader Islamic geopolitical bloc, often positioning themselves against traditional Middle Eastern power centers like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, or regional rivals such as India and Greece. Erdogan's ambition to lead the Muslim world aligns well with Pakistan's long-standing desire for leadership in the Islamic world. One of the most visible areas of growth has been in defense industrial collaboration, with Turkey emerging as a key defense supplier for Pakistan. In 2018, Pakistan signed a $1.5 billion agreement with Turkish state-owned defense firm Asfat to acquire 4 Milgem-class stealth corvettes as part of Turkey's flagship naval program. The Turkish defense industry has also supported Pakistan's Air Force and Army modernization efforts. The Pakistan Air Force has received F-16 Fighting Falcon jets from Turkish aerospace industries. Turkey has expressed willingness to collaborate on drone technology, an area where Turkey has gained significant global recognition with platforms like the Bayraktar TB2. So the recent additions to Pakistan's military inventory include Turkish Bayraktar TB2 armed UAVs and Kemanx cruise missiles. As per the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, or SIPRI, Pakistan received 3 TB2 drones in 2022. The newly identified Songar drones represent yet another Turkish contribution to Pakistan's growing aerial capabilities. Ankara has also played a pivotal role in modernizing Pakistan's navy. A leading Turkish firm is not only involved in building new ships, but also handling critical upgrades for Pakistan's Agosta 90B submarines.
If you see any inventory of Pakistan's military capabilities, you see references to corvettes, for example, and Falcon jets as well. But the most important aspect of this cooperation is the supply of Turkish drones to Pakistan. The drones and the missile systems that go with it, as well as more recently that we saw in the recent conflict, the Sindoor drones have also been supplied. So I think it is relatively recent, but these are quite substantial and very important supply. Turkish drones are regarded with a lot of respect. And the fact that Pakistan was able to use numerous hundreds of them in the recent conflict indicates that they played a very major role in empowering Pakistan in this recent encounter with India.
Turkey's close alignment with Pakistan has a long history. Pakistan emerged as a Muslim nation following the 1947 partition of India, while India pursued an anti-colonial foreign policy and became a leading member of the non-aligned movement. Pakistan allied itself closely with the US-led Western Bloc. As a fellow US ally, Turkey found common cause with Pakistan. Beyond defense, Turkey-Pakistan partnership also thrives on diplomatic and ideological synergy. Under Erdogan, Turkey has echoed Pakistan's narrative on Kashmir. Pakistan has benefited from Turkey's support on Kashmir. In February, Erdogan said that the Kashmir issue should be addressed according to the UN resolution. India deemed these comments unacceptable and lodged a protest with the Turkish ambassador in New Delhi. His recent comments were seen by New Delhi as another example of Turkey not respecting India's sovereignty over Jammu and Kashmir. In the past, India has told Turkey through diplomatic talks that Kashmir is a matter to be discussed only between India and Pakistan, as agreed in the Simla Agreement.
Well, Turkey clearly and openly supports Pakistan's stance, which is that it is, of course, without knowing anything. It very clearly says that Kashmir should be resolved in accordance with the UN resolution, and they have often said that they are also ready to mediate. India has clearly said it does not want to mediate in any way. Plus, it also often talks about some the problems against Muslims here and there. I mean, all these statements that have come out from Erdogan, very often also raised in UN General Assembly meetings annually, at the behest of Pakistan. Then in the OIC, they very actively work together. So all these statements are very clearly a divergence and totally opposite to India's position. And therefore, we take umbrage against that, and we openly object to their position.
For India, Turkey's support to Pakistan on the Kashmir question has never gone down well, but India has adjusted its geopolitical partnerships to counter the Pakistan-Turkey nexus. In Eastern Europe, India has supported and engaged the Greece-backed Republic of Cyprus. In fact, the consistent support that Greece has extended to India over the Kashmir issue has helped bilateral relations between the two. This is in contrast with Turkish and Pakistani positions, which back the internationally unrecognized Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. Also, India has emerged as one of the strongest military backers of Armenia, which is locked in a territorial conflict with Azerbaijan over Nagorno-Karabakh. India emerged as the largest arms supplier to Armenia by late 2024, surpassing even Russia. Pakistan is aligned with Turkiye-backed Azerbaijan. In 2024, Azerbaijan purchased JF-17 Block 3 fighter jets from Pakistan, reportedly under a $1.6 billion deal. Also, the planned India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, or IMEC, bypasses Turkiye, which has historically seen itself as the bridge between Asia and Europe. The IMEC has drawn explicit criticism from Erdogan. Turkey now attempts to establish its own Asia-Europe corridor, which is also called Iraq Development Road.
So far, India has shown considerable anger. This anger is understandable. On the basis of popular opinion as well as our own assessment of our national interest, we have taken very strong steps in curtailing our economic engagement with Turkiye's companies, the most important of which is Çelebi, the one that is active in our airports. These are understandable and they are important. And they convey a very strong sense of betrayal in India. This anger should not cloud our vision in the future. We need to use diplomacy in regard to those countries that have differences with us. We cannot abandon, it is not in India's interest to abandon all substantial ties with Turkey. What we should be concerned about is we cannot allow, through our silence and by excluding ourselves from the discussion, we cannot allow the burgeoning ties that have emerged between Ankara and Islamabad.
The recent geopolitical developments between India and Turkey have also shifted the sentiments of Indians dramatically. As both countries publicly expressed support for Pakistan, Indian travelers responded swiftly. Reportedly, there has been a sharp 42% decline in visa applications to Turkey and Azerbaijan. Travelers from metro cities like New Delhi and Mumbai showed a 53% drop in Turkey-bound applications. While interest from Tier 2 cities such as Indore and Jaipur fell by 20%. As Turkey and Azerbaijan lost preference, alternate destinations surged in popularity. Applications to Vietnam, Indonesia, and Egypt rose by up to 31%. On the 15th of May, amid the backlash in India over Turkey's support for Pakistan, India's aviation security regulator, Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, revoked the security clearance of Çelebi Airport Services India, the Indian arm of a Turkish airport ground handling services company. After India revoked the security clearance of its subsidiaries over national security concerns, Turkey-based airport ground handling company Çelebi has seen its market capitalization erode by more than $293 million in just 2 days, with its shares plunging nearly 20%. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's recent public show of solidarity with Pakistan has stirred widespread resentment across India. Indian retailers and online platforms have launched a sweeping boycott of Turkish products, ranging from food to cosmetics and travel services. All India Consumer Products Distributors Federation, which supplies nearly 13 million mom-and-pop grocery outlets, announced an indefinite and total boycott of Turkish-origin goods. The organization stated the decision would impact a wide array of products, including Turkish chocolates, biscuits, jams, wafers, coffee, and skincare items, with an estimated value of approximately $234 million. Indian fashion websites like Flipkart-owned Myntra have also stopped selling apparel from Turkish-owned brands. A search on Myntra's platform now fails to show products from Turkey. Traders and customers across India are also boycotting fruits coming from Turkey. Fruit traders based in Prayagraj, too, have decided to boycott Turkish apples. Earlier, Himachal Pradesh farmers had also demanded a ban on Turkish apple imports, urging the central government to impose as high as 100% duties on them. Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu, Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, which is one of India's biggest apple-growing states, said he would seek a ban on Turkish apple imports, valued at around $60 million in 2024. On the 16th of May, the Confederation of All India Traders, which represents more than 125 trade leaders, passed a resolution asking all Indian businesses to stop trade with Turkiye and Azerbaijan. The group also called for a ban on imports, exports and tourism with both countries. Universities and colleges across India have also cut their ties and stopped student exchange programs with Turkey in a move to boycott the country. Top universities including IIT Bombay, Jawaharlal Nehru University and Jamia Millia Islamia in New Delhi have cut all ties with Turkey or suspended them given the current situation. All Indian Cine Workers Association has officially written the Indian Prime Minister demanding #Zero Tolerance for Terror Supporters and a complete ban on Turkey and Azerbaijan in the Indian film industry to protect India's integrity and sovereignty. While India has not issued any official directive mandating a boycott, the unofficial campaign is gaining momentum all across the country. Imports from Turkey were valued at $2.7 billion last year, largely driven by mineral fuels and precious metals. As diplomatic friction persists, the consumer-led boycott highlights the growing influence of national sentiment on trade and corporate behavior in Indian markets. The recent past of the 2023 Turkey earthquake hasn't faded. In February 2023, when a massive earthquake devastated parts of Turkey and Syria, India stood among the first nations to respond with urgent humanitarian assistance. Under Operation Dost, India sent rescue teams, medical personnel and relief materials to Turkey. India also sent Garuda aerospace drones to help those trapped in the rubble and modified Kisan drones to carry medication and food. Emphasizing the idea of global solidarity in times of catastrophes, Indian teams worked day and night to pull survivors from the rubble, treat the wounded and provide emergency care. India has shown nothing but compassion towards Turkey, providing humanitarian assistance in moments of crisis and gestures of solidarity that transcend politics. India chose empathy over diplomacy in 2023, offering support to Turkey in its most challenging times. The big question now is, has Erdogan overlooked these gestures? As the Turkish president aligns himself and his country with Pakistan, has he chosen betrayal over brotherhood with India?